Today we're going to talk about 5 websites that every graphic designer should have bookmarked and a little bit of reasoning why. Do you guys carry around notebooks? I carry 2 with me pretty much everywhere I go. One is my little sketchbook here that I can keep track of kind of drawings and things that I want to make. You can find some of the drawings on my Instagram. The other one's a notebook, and this one I write ideas down for the YouTube channel. So these most definitely aren't the only websites that are available out there, but they're the ones that I find most useful for the purposes that I need them for. Now, if you do know of a different website that maybe falls into the category of one of these, leave the name of it down below in the comments. Don't put links. I don't want to have to remove you from my spam folder. But what I'll do is I'll update the description of the video with some of the other links that you guys leave in the comments, and I'll give you a little credit beside them. Keep in mind, these are in no specific order. They're not order of importance. It's not one website that I use the most down to the one that I use the least. Site number 1 is designinspiration.net. So Design Inspiration is almost like a Pinterest, but only for design work. When you first sign up for the site, they're going to ask you for your interests, and you can go ahead and select the different areas of design that you're looking for. There's everything from men's fashion to interior design to business cards and branding. So I've got everything kind of related to the world or the industry for a graphic designer. And now from here, you can scroll through and see just the various areas that you've kind of signed up for that you wanted to have in your feed. Now each one of these you can zoom in on, you can save it. So when I click on it again, it just brings it up. The nice thing about this is, at least from my opinion, my perspective on this, there's no fluff. It's not a bunch of people trying to direct me to 14 different websites or take me off of here in order to get me to click a link to a blog post in order for them to be able to get paid for what they're saying. I can come here, I can look for the inspiration that I'm looking for, get back to my design. I know you've all done it. You get lost down the rabbit hole of Pinterest feeds, and you're never to be found again until the following morning when you're drooling on your desk. So there's all different kinds of design on here. Again, here's some websites. Here's some old layouts for newspaper articles and booklets. I just like some of the typography that's on these, some of the Art Deco stuff. I mean, you can find inspiration in all of this stuff, whether you're looking for a new font to use, a new layout, you want some different color schemes, you're looking for the latest in vector art. Everything can be found on here. Search function up at the very top, so we can search. Let's say I want to find vectors. I'm just going to type in vector, and we can scroll through and find the information that we're looking for. Now, let's say I want to save this one. From here, I can actually go in, I can save to a collection, just like you would on a lot of the bookmark sites or Pinterest or anywhere like that. I'm going to create a collection. So let's say vector wood stuffs. If I want to, I can make it private, and I can go ahead and click on the check mark. Up at the top, various collections from other users, and then people that are related to my search. Website number 2 is wordmark.it. Now wordmark.it uses all the fonts on your system to give you a preview of any phrase that you type into the search box. I'm going to go ahead, click here. Now let's type in, we'll just go with my name. Hit enter. And I can scroll through here and I can actually see now all the different fonts that I have installed and be able to pick one. So let's say I go with that one. I like that one. This one. And we'll just pick one more. And let's go that one. So I've got 4 of them selected. I can go up here to the top, click on filter selected, and this way I can see just the 4 that I picked. So here I have the 4 fonts that I selected. I can go back up here and click on show all fonts if I want to see everything again and maybe pick some more or change my selection. Go back to filtered. Then I have these options at the top. Now there's 3 of these that are locked out for subscription only, which are the dark mode. So what this does is it actually flips it around, gives me a dark background with white text on top. Also tags. You can go in and tag selected fonts if you actually have an account. And save. If you have an account, you can actually save this as a selection. So for now, all you can do, you can zoom out. I can see how these work at a smaller size. I can zoom in and maybe look at ligatures or see how two letters are connected. And I can also print this out, be able to give this to clients or take it somewhere and show it to somebody that I need to show it to. Site number 3 is Unsplash.com. So I come here and do a lot of searching when I'm looking for different images for different projects. I'll use this for layouts or websites for mock-ups. I'll use it when I'm creating, say, a magazine layout or a poster for a client. And I can come in and search for whatever I need. And I have yet to find an issue picking out a photo from this website when I needed it. For example, let's say we're working on a client brief and we need some inspiration for a new logo, and the client is in the circus industry. I picked circus because I figured maybe it was something obscure that they might not have too many photos of, but you can see, I mean, we have everything here. I mean, fire dancers, we have the big top, we've got kind of the fair and the Ferris wheel, we've got the games. All kinds of things that you're going to find on this website to be able to use for inspiration. If you're going to download these, you can click on the image, you can blow it up, so you can see a little bit better detail. You can actually share these out to social media, get additional information with how many views, how many downloads, all of the camera information on it, what the actual file size is. It's a great website. They've put together a really solid site here for us to be able to use. I can collect different images, I can heart this, or I can download it for free. Gives you information right here. Crediting isn't required, but is appreciated and allows photographers to gain exposures. You can copy text below or embed a credit badge. So I copy this and include it where possible. Now again, if you're using this for a design brief, not necessary. You're not going to have to give credit when you've created the logo to this person because you used it in your design brief. But if you do use this for, say, a business card background, or you use it for a magazine layout, or a website header, it's great if you can copy this text, throw it in there, even if it's in the source code. Site number 4. This one comes in handy quite a bit for me. I use it pretty consistently with my job. There's so much to see on the Coolers website and so many things that you can do with it. Starting here on the home page, we have 3 different options. On the main section, which is Start the Generator, that's where we're going to go in a second. You can click on this to get to the iOS app, or down here to get to the Adobe plugin. The Adobe plugin was built for Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Up at the top, we can go Generate and Explore, and then of course, a couple of different options here for support terms, all your regular website stuff. So I'm going to start the generator. This is going to load up and it's going to give us just a basic palette. Now, if I want to see different palettes or different schemes, I can just click on the space bar until I find one that I like. The other option is I can go in and start adjusting these. So alternative shades, and that shows me a bunch of different shades of this color. So let's say I like that one. I can also click here and rearrange them just to see how these two match up, or how, say, this one looks beside the blue or in between these two. I can adjust my sliders, and we've got HSB, RGB, CMYK, pick, and sets. So here I've just got a color picker, and then I can go into Pantone, Copic, Prismacolor, or names. So these are your actual felts. This top menu section, you can watch a tutorial on how all of this works. You can go into your settings, which isolation mode, you can see puts a little bar in between each one of them. Monochromatic, we click the space bar again, I get monochrome. Turn that off, or my secondary info. So if you notice right now, I've got a hex code here, and then we've got this down at the bottom. That's because I've got Prismacolor selected. So if I go Copic, it gives me the Copic colors. If I go Pantone, it gives me a PMS color. And again, hit the space bar, and we can keep going into different selections. Next, you can actually upload an image. So if I click here, and let's just grab this. It's an old Chevy that I made. We'll upload that. And it gives me colors from this image. I can click and drag, click, and everything updates. If I want to change this one, it's there. Say I want this color instead. I don't like that green. I want this darker green, and you can see how that works. You can also do a collage. And with that, it gives me the photo plus my colors, and it's downloaded onto my computer, so I've got everything. Here I can undo. They've actually got different color blindness settings, so if you need to do a design or if you're using colors and you know that your audience has got a certain type of color blindness, you can come in here and make selections to make sure that your colors are working. You can toggle all of the different alternatives or the different shades here and then be able to pick from the different ones that you want. Or you can adjust your palette, so I can go into, say, a different hue. I can lessen my saturation or deepen my saturation. I can drop down my brightness and make it warmer or cooler on the temperature. Finally, you can export. You can go to a URL, PDF, PNG, SCSS, SVG, or Copic. And then last but not least, you can save your color palette, and saving it will actually save it to your account for later use. Now if we go back home, we also had the Explore option from here. You could have got there on the other screen as well. What this does, this is saved palettes by other members of the site. So I can just go through here and we can actually just click on the next button and walk through a bunch of different palettes. Or we can even go filters, say pastels. That's going to show us nothing but pastel palettes. And number 5, last but not least, I think it's important to have a website that kind of keeps you up to date in the design industry. I use Creative Block's website. They've got a lot of different sections on the website, everything from tools and tricks to inspiration to tutorials. So the thing I like about Creative Block is that it covers more than just graphic design. Now I know this is a list for the 5 best graphic design websites, and there's a lot of information on here for graphic designers. If we click on the topics here, we can get into graphic design. Now the other thing you can do is go all topics if you want to kind of break it down a little bit more. So say you want to get into illustration, we can click on that. If you're just looking for information on Adobe Illustrator, you can click on that. As you saw on that previous screen, there's a section there for InDesign. So the nice thing about it is it's just broken down really well, and then everything here is already related to Adobe Illustrator. So Illustrator tutorials, the best lessons to sharpen your skills, alternatives, and there's some good ones on here. Affinity Publisher for InDesign, bunch of different options if you don't want to be on the Adobe Creative Cloud. Design a killer logo. This is actually a pretty good article. I went through it a couple weeks ago. Now I hope you found at least one of these useful for yourself, and you're going to go ahead and bookmark it and use it for any of your future projects. If you like this type of video, let me know down in the comments. I can always add more. I've got information on everything from invoicing to mock-ups to a bunch of different tools that you can utilize as a graphic designer. Okay, designers, that's it for this one. I hope you found at least one of these websites useful and have bookmarked it or are planning to bookmark 1, 2, maybe all 5 of them and use them down the road in your design career. If you did find them useful, go ahead and leave me a comment down below or even just a thumbs up. I release a new graphic design related video every Wednesday. Topics include everything from speed art to top 5 lists like today, as well as tutorials and how-tos inside of the various software. If you like what you saw here today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, yeah, that was good. Now time to edit. Is this done? Are you guys watching that export? Another video right here. You can sub right down here. If you could see that side of the camera and all the mess that's here, this I just finished. You can find that on my Instagram. I think that's enough babbling. Drop my pen a lot. Bye.